Okay, most of today is a review of things we've previously learned, and we've broken it up into multiple little sections. So the very first thing talks about the angles in a triangle, something that I think you've been doing for a long time. If you add up all the angles in a triangle, it equals what? 180. Or, there we go. 180 degrees, which means if I know two angles in my triangle, how do I find the last? We add them together and do what? Yeah, subtract it from 180. So if you don't have a calculator, if you don't have a calculator, go get one. When I add those together, what do I get? And if I want to find this missing one, we could call this x if we wanted to. 180 minus 134 is 46. Part B, do we have enough information for part B? Yeah, that box on that one angle, what does that equal? 90. I don't know, we've been doing it for a while. So this is 90, right? If I wanted to add those together, I would get what? 150. I realize that this is pretty easy to do on a calculator, but in order to receive full credit, you have to show your work. I just handed back a test to my last class, and I said, no work, you don't get credit, and they missed the whole problem, even though they got it right. He did come and say, well, my work was right here. I apologized, and I gave him his points back. So if that was the case and I just missed your work somewhere on your test, let me know. But if you don't show your work, you don't get the credit for it. So something has to be up here. I don't care if it's just a little bit. It has to be something. Cool. Now what do I do on these problems when I throw in the variables? How would I do part A? Yeah, we need to find x first. Now all three of those angles add together to be what? 180. Let's add them together. Now when I add them, I have this x and this x. Together will make what? 2 x's plus number. This is where you all figure it out. Plus 192. And we'll set it equal to 180 because when you add up all the angles in a triangle, it equals 180. Subtract 192. So 2x equals what? -12. Divide by 2. X equals 6. So that's not what the question's asking for, right? Again, you'll have two different kinds of questions when you're dealing, especially with geometry. Sometimes it says find x. So make sure you read what it's asking for. Sometimes it says find measure of angle A. Well, in this case, A is there on the bottom. I take that -6. I plug it in right here. Now, just because this one's 60, does that mean they all are? No. Does this one. Cool. Try part B on your own. So 2x plus 198 equals 180. Raise your hand if you got -9. Right, will you write that for me? X equals -9. Okay, raise your hand if you got x equals -9. So this first part's right. Now if I were grading, can I finish it up? If I were grading a test and this was worth 3 points, this is how I would grade it. I would score it. I would give you 1 point for adding them up, setting it equal to 180. If you did something else, you'll lose that point. I give you 1 point for getting x equals -9. Now if you screwed up somewhere and say you got like 11, at some point you have to plug it back in, right? And you get 43, that's our problem. But if you got the wrong number and plugged in the wrong number, you'll lose the point for getting the wrong x, but you will not lose the point for plugging it back in. So you still can get partial credit even if you make a mistake along the way. You got this. Are there any questions with triangles so far? These triangles. Okay, let's move on then. Let's see if we can get everything done before lunch. I don't know if it's possible. Might be. Okay, the next thing is, if I gave you 3 line segments, could you tell me if they would form a triangle? So we're going to skip kind of the rules, and let's just look at it. Part B. If I have a 22 and a 12 and an 8, would those sides, the 12 and the 8, would they eventually touch? And how do you know? If I kept this 12 and this 8 coming down, would this point right here and this point right here eventually meet? Yes or no? This 22 has to stay straight. The 12 and the 8, they're not long enough, right? It would end up coming like this. You have the 22, you have the 12, you have the 8, and then there would be like this gap right here, right? Would it be quite long enough? So using that idea, what rule could we make? These two short sides have to be what in comparison? They have to be greater, right? So ignore that up there. So we're going to say the sum, now sum means add, right? Okay, the sum of the shortest two sides of the triangle must be what? Greater. Now let's look about equal. Look at part B. If you had a 12, then you had a 9 and a 3. Would those 2 points meet? Technically they would, but this is what it would look like. Where would they meet? You'd have your 12, you'd have your 9, and you'd have your 3, right? Is that a triangle? No, that's a segment. So you would have to have some sort of gap right there in order for it to be a triangle. Which means, could they be equal to? No, they have to be greater. So when I'm answering a question like this, going back to part B, state whether the given 3 numbers could be the measures of the sides of a triangle. I'm going to look at those shorter 2 sides, and I'm going to ask myself, is it greater than 22? that a yes or a no? It is not greater, so my answer is no. The answer is no. This is how you show your work. So you'll have that on each of them. Looking at part E, is 9 plus 3 greater than 12? No, right? What about part A? Which two numbers will I add together on part A? Is 4 plus 10, what? Greater than 12? This one is a yes. So you don't have to draw the picture, but I do want to see some numbers on there to help justify your reason. Take a minute, try those last two. For part C, did you get yes or no? No, why? N plus 6 is not greater than 17. For part D, is it yes or no? Part D, no? Why? 11 plus 7, not greater than 19. Part F, yes or no? Why? 4 plus 6 is greater than 9. I don't know why that's wobbling so much. Okay, any questions with that set of questions? All right, next page. I keep kind of going back and forth. I think that we might be able to finish this before lunch, and then you'll have the entire time after lunch to work on your homework, work on your test finishing, work on retake stuff if you need to. So I think we should just push through and keep going. So keep going. Okay, the next set of questions, we want you to label the sides and order them from smallest to largest. So for number 6, I have these different triangles. I don't know how big the sides are. They could be the size of a quarter. They could be the size of a three. We don't know. But we do know the angles. So looking at problem C, which of the 3 angles is the smallest? M, right? Because M is the smallest, that means the side that's across from it is the shortest side. So LK is the shortest, because it's opposite the smallest angle. The shortest side is opposite the shortest angle. Which means the middle side is opposite the middle angle. Going back to this part C, which of these angles is kind of your middle length? Okay, so K is your middle. Going across, LM would be your middle. And looking at that over here, got a middle side, a middle angle. And your the longest side of the triangle is always opposite your largest angle. So if this is the largest angle, this will be the largest side. It kind of opens together and it forms the largest side possible. They come in pairs. This is my largest angle, angle L, down here, which means which side would be the longest side? AM. Now when you name these, does it need to be capital letters? Yes. And does it have to have that little segment hat on top of it? Yes. If you don't have that little line on top, you're talking about how big it is. And I don't want that. I want the actual segment length. So let's look at part A now. Which one's the smallest angle? S? Because S is the smallest, which one is the shortest side? TU, very good. Like you walk across the triangle, and there you are. The next smallest angle is U, right? So the side across from it is, so you say ST, I said TS, same thing, right? The letters can be swapped. Last one, the biggest is angle T, so SU. Good. Good. What do you notice about part B and D? On part B, when you're looking for the smallest angle, what do you notice? I've got two equal angles, right? Which means if I have two congruent angles, I'm going to have two congruent sides. If this is angle 50 and this is angle 50, that means those sides must be the same as well. It must be an isosceles triangle. So if I'm ordering these from smallest to largest, the best way, I don't know, LK, KM, just put them all right on top of each other, they're the same. That looks like a fraction, it's not. What's the largest side then? This is the biggest angle, so LM must be the largest side. I'm not going to do part D fully, but I want you to tell me which two sides are equal. It's a little bit more obvious on this one. Which two sides? DE and EF. Okay, moving on. Let's do the same thing, but let's do it with the angles. This time I'm going to give you the sides, and I want you to tell me which are the angles. So on part A, 14 is the shortest, right? Which means which angle is the shortest, or the smallest? Angle D, to name an angle, it needs to be a little angle sign, capital letter. The next smallest is the 18, right? 18 is opposite what? Angle E. And then my last one would be angle F. Make sure you read the instructions. Oh. Right there. So that you get them in the right order. Because on the test, if you named them angle F, then E, and then D, and you put them in reverse order, like there's no partial credit. You miss the whole thing. So make sure they're in the right order. Really quick, if I see the phone again, I'm going to take it away. Part B and C, try it on your own if you haven't already. That's in 19. Thank you. Will you pass that off to you? Okay. Who do you want to call? We should give it to you. Justin. Part C, will you put it on the board? You okay? Yeah. Do both.
Oh, okay. So then, so this one's the smallest.
Mhm.
That's really small. Smallest, and then this one's the largest. This one's the medium. And so,
This brings up a good point. He's not labeling his angles the same way I labeled part C, but are they wrong? And if they're different from yours, if they're different from yours, how do you know if you are right? On this one, angle SRT, what's another way to name it? Angle R, right? On this one, that's the same thing as saying angle what? Hey, ladies, not right now, please. Angle S, right? And this one's the same thing as angle T? It's a lot bigger than I intended. Okay. There we go. Right? So you didn't need to name it the entire way, but there's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, one more page, and then we're done. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about isosceles and equilateral triangles. I see the phone again. I'm putting it away, or I'm taking it away. Just warning to this class. Okay, what's an isosceles triangle? A triangle that has what? I'm going to say at least. So technically an equilateral triangle is isosceles. It's just a little bit more specific, right? Now in an isosceles triangle, this right here is called your vertex angle. These two right here, they're called your base angles. These two right here, the equal sides, are called the legs. And then right across from the vertex, that is called the base. And what do we know about the legs? They're equal to each other, they're congruent, and then the base angles are also congruent. We're going to use that idea in helping us solve these problems. We have 5 minutes to do it. Looking down at part B, if you'll have it. Part B. The very first thing I would look for in a question like this is which angle is the vertex? Is the 30 the vertex or the x? The 30. And that matters to me because if this is the vertex, these two have to be the ones that are equal to each other, right? Those are the base angles. It's your isosceles triangle tipped on its side. Well, if this is x, how would I label this one? X as well. Now, do we have enough information to solve for x? Yeah, I've got two x's plus my other angle. And if I add up all of the angles in a triangle, what does it equal? 180. So take that, solve for x. And again, your work doesn't have to be quite as detailed as mine, but it should be organized, and you should write something. Okay. Let's try it again, part C. Which of those two angles is your vertex angle? Is it X or is it 46? Which one's the vertex angle? X. Which means what do we know about that missing angle? How big would it be? 42. That is 46. So try part C. This is my vertex. These are the bases. You said that was 46. When you add these two base angles together, what do you get? 92. So if you want to find that missing one, what do you do? Spencer? So again, you need to show some work. I would say this is a lot more minimal than this one, but you have to show something. Okay, part D. Now with part D, we're dealing with the sides. So when dealing with the sides of a triangle, will I ever use the 180s? Not very often. I mean, you could, but it's not likely. So looking at the X and the 11, are those legs or is one of them the base? Those are both legs. What do we know about the legs? They're equal. So, have your lunch. Dang it. There should be pizza in there. So just look for them. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Awesome. And you have your homework already, so you're home. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, that's all.